Hey guys, what's going on? It's Vic here, back with another Madden 21 video. In today's episode, we're going to be rebuilding the New York Giants with the new addition of Logan Ryan. This did happen quite a while ago, I am aware of that. And also, Devontae Freeman was picked up by the Giants, but he won't be in this video because at the time I was recording this, he wasn't on the Giants. So, sorry about that. It's not really the biggest deal because injuries are off, and Saquon Barkley did just get injured. But since injuries are off on this franchise series or mode or rebuild or whatever you want to call it, Saquon Barkley will be playing for us in this rebuild. So apart from that, guys, it is time to jump into this team. And here we are with the overlook of the team as Danny Dimes is the quarterback, aka Daniel Jones, 72 overall, normal development, 23 years old. Depending on if he gets a development upgrade, I will use him. Saquon Barkley here, absolute animal, evasive, backfield mismatch, or his superstar abilities. With Dion Lewis, who they got from the Titans, and Darius Slayton is going to start. And I'm going to trade probably Golden Tate just because of his age. Evan Ingram is here. Great tight end. O-line is overall pretty good other than Nate Solder. I'll definitely trade him. His cap hits really high. Andrew Thomas is here, though. Pick number 4 in the draft. Very, very good player. Hopefully he'll develop into something amazing, especially for the Giants in real life. But James Bradberry is here, and Logan Ryan is here, of course. But James Bradberry, I might look to trade. His cap hit is pretty high as well. Xavier McKinnon is here. Very big future for him, especially for Madden. This linebacking core is overall pretty bad. We're going to have to upgrade it. And Jabril Peppers is here, and great safety. He will develop very well in the series, this rebuild. And special teams is all right. So looking into everything else looks good to me, and specialist does also look good to me. Maybe I might trade Leonard Williams. His cap hit is high too, but I probably will keep him around. But apart from that, everything does look pretty good to me. And defensively, this D-line again is great. BJ Hill in there at tackle, second string defensive tackle. So maybe we'll switch to a 4-3, considering that our defensive line is stacked and our linebackers are pretty bad. So apart from that, guys, I'm going to generate this best lineup, and I would say that it's time to jump into some trades. So let's do that. And here we are with the first trade, as we were trading Golden Tate and Nate Solder and a 6th-round pick for a first pick from the Washington football team, a division rival, but it's okay. And this is what the team looks like after the trades. I know it wasn't really a lot of trades, but a lot of you guys have been telling me to do my rebuilds a lot more realistic because you don't like me stripping the team. I used to just strip the team. Any player that was old, it would be instantly gone. Any player that took up a high cap hit would be gone too. But it's much harder to draft people, and it's much harder to get free agents. So apart from that, guys, it is time to jump into the midseason mark. And here we are at the midseason mark, coming off a loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, as we are 2-6. Third in the division, above the 0-7 Washington football team. And this is who we have to re-sign, such as Logan Ryan, 86 overall, star development, 29 years old. Don't really know how he's going to regress, but I feel like 2-year deal would be fair, so I'm probably going to give him that. And he does re-sign with the Giants. And Leonard Williams is here as well. He does want some big money here, and I am going to give it to him, and he re-signs with the team. Dalvin Tomlinson is here. He wants a little bit cheaper of a deal, but still overall big contract for a defensive tackle, and he does stay. And our kicker, I feel like we can get him cheaper in free agency, so I'll just wait on that. I don't think we need him that much. Well, I don't think we really need to re-sign him here, but everyone else here don't really have an interest for him. Maybe this free safety I can move to defensive back, because we do have Xavier McKinnon. He does have star development. I don't think he'll go probably to an 80 in this rebuild, but either way, he could develop, and he wants more money, so we may give it to him at the end of the season. Don't really know what I have decided yet, but apart from that, these contracts look good, and it's time to jump into the playoffs. And here we are in the playoffs, not making the playoffs, as we're coming off a loss to the Dallas Cowboys, as we finished bottom of the division, as the 10-6 Philadelphia Eagles take the division. Daniel Jones didn't do that great, 25th best offense and the 25th best defense. So Danny Jones, 3,800 yards, 30 TDs, and 17 interceptions is a lot. Saquon Barkley, 2 TDs and only 1,000 yards. Absolutely terrible season for him. And receiving, Darius Slayton over 1,000 yards and 15 touchdowns, had a monster season. And defensively, James Bradberry with the most tackles on the team, most tackles for a loss, 14 for Marcus Golden, and sacks is 7.5 for Leonard Williams. Interceptions is 4 for Jabril Peppers, and safeties is 0, and defensive touchdowns is 0. So apart from that, guys, I would say that it's time to jump into the offseason. So let's get into it. Now here we are in the offseason as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat the Cleveland Browns in the Super Bowl, and we have players to resign such as Marcus Golden, who did get a development upgrade, but he is 30 years old, so he'll just regress from here, so I don't want to resign him, and everyone else here don't really have an interest for. So apart from that, guys, I would say it's time to look into the team to see if there's any development upgrades other than Marcus Golden. And I see Darius Slayton has superstar development, so that's very interesting. Let's see his abilities. They are Energizer and they are short out elite, so Energizer is pretty good, not bad. And defensively, Jabril Peppers now has superstar development as well, and his ability is unfakeable. The other ability is locked right now, but everything else here looks pretty good on the team. And apart from that, I would say that it's time to jump into some free agency. And here we are after free agency, and this is what the team looks like, as we didn't really do too much on offense, but we did get Gus the Bus Edwards as a second string, and defensively we did get Shaq Barrett, a huge part of this defense and a huge part of this pass rush. This pass rush should be great, as he has some pretty good superstar abilities, and his X Factor isn't good because he's got selfless, and we don't have any other X Factors on our team right now other than Barkley on the offense. So apart from that, let's jump into the draft. And here we are in the draft as we're picking up our right guard, 72 overall, normal development. Picked him up at number 5, and he's ranked number 20. We did a reach there, but it's okay. Next, we pick up a defensive back, 77 overall, normal development. Ranked number 2, picked him up at number 7. We're probably going to replace him with James Bradberry. Next, we're picking up a center, 74 overall, normal development. Probably going to move him to right guard, right tackle, something like that. But either way, he's on the team. Next, we're picking up a defensive end. Probably going to move him to outside linebacker. 75 overall, normal development, ranked number 6 in the class. Picked him up at number 69. Nice. And this is what the team looks like after the draft. And we got our new center, and this right guard, we're probably going to move to right tackle. So I'll probably do that later. And defensively, it gets this defensive back here, and I know it doesn't really make a lot of sense because he is a 4th string right now, but I'm probably going to trade James Bradberry just because his cap hit is so high. And also, I forgot to mention, we did also pick up JC Jackson in free agency as well, if you guys just now noticed that, because I forgot to mention that. But either way, I'm going to show you guys that James Bradberry's cap hit is huge. James Bradberry is my 3rd string defensive back, and he is 28 years old with star development, and he takes up $14 million in cap room, so I'm going to have to trade him. His cap room is just way too high. His cap hit is just, it's not there. But either way, we are trading James Bradberry and Blake Martinez for a 1st this year and a 1st next year from the Browns. And the reason why we're trading Blake Martinez is he's a 75 overall normal development that has a 10 mil cap hit. That I just can't pay someone that much money to be a normal development. And this is what the team looks like after the trades, as obviously it's nothing huge, nothing insane, but those were big parts of our defense. Well, nothing like huge, but we're going to move Jordan Love down to defensive back to replace James Bradberry, as he will be probably our 4th string defensive back, and I don't need him at 2nd string free safety, so he's going to move down to defensive back, and I think he will play well at the position, as he now becomes a 75 overall defensive back. Went from 77 free safety to a 75 defensive back, so overall not bad. But apart from that, it's time to jump in the midseason mark. Here we are at the midseason mark, coming off a loss to the Denver Broncos, as we are 4-4, and we are 2nd in the division below the 6-1 Dallas Cowboys. We have players to re-sign, such as our tight end Evan Ingram, 90 overall, star development, as he does what a big contract for a tight end, but he deserves it and he gets it. He re-signs. Kevin Zeitler is here, and he is old, but I think he'll remain above an 80 overall for the remainder of this rebuild, and he does resign. Jabril Peppers is here, and he's obviously a no-brainer. We want to keep him around, and he wants more money. We'll definitely give it to him at the end of the season. Will Hernandez is here, young and star development with 81 overall, and he wants more money. We'll give it to him at the end of the season. Lorenzo Carter, I don't really have an interest for him unless he gets a dev up. But apart from that, there's no one else here that I have an interest in. But apparently there's this QB here, Max Wilson. He has star development or hidden development, I don't know. He's the 2nd string QB. Daniel Jones only has normal development, but he has something hidden. So we might start him, we might not, I don't know. Let's see how Daniel Jones is doing. If he's doing bad, then I'll start the other QB just because of his development. But Daniel Jones is actually doing pretty good. So I'll keep Daniel Jones because he might just get a dev up. But apart from that, I don't mean to click on this offensive coordinator. So apart from that, guys, it is time to jump into the playoffs. Here we are in the playoffs, coming off a win to the Los Angeles Chargers, as we are here to face the 10-6 Arizona Cardinals as we finish second in the division below the 10-6 Dallas Cowboys. And Daniel Jones actually had a pretty good season with the 5th best offense, and we had the 13th best defense. And Saquon Barkley did pretty good, but Daniel Jones, 4,100 yards, 31 TDs, and 14 interceptions, and 60% completion rate. Barkley went off, 5.3 per carry, 14 TDs, and 1,300 yards. Had a monster season. Receiving-wise, Evan Ingram over 1,000 yards and 9 TDs. Blocking-wise, we don't really need to look at it. Defensively, Lorenzo Carter with 96 tackles. Tackles for a loss, 19 for Dexter Lawrence. Sacks, 12 for Shaq Barrett. Interceptions is 3 for Julian Love. And safeties is 0, and defensive touchdowns is 0. So apart from that, guys, I would say that it's time to simulate this wild card round as we are 8-7-1 against the 10-6 Arizona Cardinals. Can we move on to the divisional round? We can, here to face the 9-7 San Francisco 49ers, and I'm definitely going to hop into this one because I doubt we'll probably make the playoffs after this. I think we had a lucky season. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. Don't really know, but apart from that, guys, it's time to jump into this matchup against the Niners. And here we are in the third quarter as it is 14-7 against the San Francisco 49ers. Now it is 14-14 against the Niners as it is tied with 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And I'm going to hop in.
And time winding down here in this fourth quarter.
And we do secure this win as the final score is 21-14.
And they have secured a spot in the conference championship. And now you can start to smell it at this point in the season.
And here we are in the conference championship, here to face the 8-7-1 Carolina Panthers, as we both have the same record. So let's hop into this matchup against the Carolina Panthers. And here we are as the score is 32-35. Very tight game. 3 minutes left in the game in the fourth quarter. Obviously not 38-30. We're still within 1 possession with 1 minute left in the game. And it is now 45-30 as we pull away and secure the win.
And they get to hoist the Hallis Trophy. Unbelievable victory. Moving on to the Super Bowl.
And here we are in the Super Bowl as we're here to face the 11-5 Cleveland Browns in the Super Bowl. This would never happen in real life, but it's happening here in Madden, as Danny Dimes did get an upgrade, so that's very, very cool to see. And defensively, Lorenzo Carter now has star development from what I can see, and everyone else kind of looks the same to me. So one defense and offensive upgrade is pretty good to me, and I forgot to move this right guard that we drafted to right tackle, so I'm going to do that right now because that was my fault. Completely forgot to move him. Now he's not going to develop as well. Oh well, doesn't really matter that much. But apart from that, everything looks pretty good. I'm kind of curious about my second string QB. What did he do? We can't see his development because he never really got to play a snap, but I got to cheat right here and see what his development was. Hopefully it's not anything insane. And he had superstar development. Okay, undrafted free agent QB. That was their second string, had superstar development, but I'm not going to re-sign him because he's only like a 69 overall or something like that. And we don't need to re-sign him because Daniel Jones did get a dev up. But if Daniel Jones didn't give a dev up, I would definitely start that dude, but he did. So Daniel Jones is 79 overall, but apart from that, guys, it is time to jump into the Super Bowl matchup. And here we are in the Super Bowl as it is 28-24 against the Cleveland Browns in the third quarter as it is 31-28, now 35-31, now 37-35 as it is a complete total of 42-38 against the Cleveland Browns. And now it is 49-38. Can they make a comeback? 1 minute left in the fourth quarter. 45-49, 46-49, and that will be your final score, 46-49 against the Cleveland Browns. One of the highest scoring Super Bowls that I've ever seen. A back and forth fourth quarter tug of war. But that will be it. And your Super Bowl MVP is Daniel Jones, 245 yards, 2 TDs, 2 receptions, and 57.6.
What a season for them. What a ride it's been for us as well here in the booth. For Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brett Gunn. Thanks.
Here we are in the offseason as the Giants beat the Cleveland Browns in the Super Bowl, obviously, and we're looking into the contracts. As Jabril Peppers is here, 86 overall superstar developments. We are going to want to keep him around. So he wants more salary and more bonus, so we're obviously going to give it to him. And does he accept that? He does, as Jabril Peppers stays with the team. And Will Hernandez is here, 84 overall with morale, star development, and he does stay with the team. Lorenzo Carter did get a dev up, so I will keep him on the team as that dev up makes him a significantly better player, if I can actually speak today. And Lorenzo Carter stays with the team. I don't want BJ Hill, and I don't want anyone else here. Max Wilson, gonna be interesting to see what team he goes to, because I'm not going to re-sign him. So apart from that, guys, I would say that we got to say goodbye to Max Wilson, the free agent superstar QB. And apart from that, guys, it is time to jump into free agency. And here we are after free agency, as the offense didn't really change much at all. And defensively, we did get Fred Warner, which was a huge pickup. Superstar X Factor with reinforcement, mid-zone KO, and outmatched. So very great pickup in free agency. So now Shaq Barrett can actually usefully use his selfless ability, because we actually have someone that he can use it on, because selfless activates other people's abilities. So apart from that, guys, it is time to jump into the draft. And here we are in the draft as we're picking up a wide receiver, Alex Nicholson, 74 overall, normal development. And that was it for the draft. We didn't really have many pickups in the draft, as we just did get a depth wide receiver. And defensively, this is what the team looks like, as we also did get a middle linebacker in like the 3rd round. And that will be about it for the team and the draft. So apart from that, guys, I would say that it's time to jump into the midseason mark. And here we are at the midseason mark, coming off a loss to the Washington football team, as we have players signed such as Saquon Barkley, 96 overall superstar X Factor. Obviously want to keep him around, and we're going to keep it at 6 years, and he does resign. Darius Slayton is here, 91 overall superstar development, wants a huge contract, and we have to give it to him, obviously, as Darius Slayton resigns with the team. And Logan Ryan is here, 81 overall star development. I don't know if I want to keep him around for too long, but he says he wants more money, and his contract length is good, but he wants more money. So I don't really know how I feel about Logan Ryan, but we are 4-4, 4-3, and 3rd in the division. So apart from that, guys, it's time to get to the playoffs. And here we are in the playoffs, not making the playoffs once again, as we coming off a win to the Tennessee Titans, as we finished 9-7. And looking into it, Daniel Jones didn't have a bad season, actually pretty good. 2nd best offense in the NFL, 13th best defense, as we somehow didn't make the playoffs with the 2nd best offense. 4,100 yards, 33 TDs. Barkley, 15 TDs, 5.9 per carry, and 1,500 yards. Absolute monster. Darius Slayton had a pretty good season. And defensive-wise, Fred Warner with the most tackles on the team, most tackles for a loss, goes to 11 for Dexter Lawrence, most sacks, 7.5 for Dexter Lawrence, interceptions 4 for Jabril Peppers, and safeties is 1 for David Reynolds, and defensive touchdowns is 0. So apart from that, guys, I would say that it's time to jump into the offseason. Here we are in the offseason as the Dallas Cowboys beat Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals in the Super Bowl, as we have players to resign such as Logan Ryan, but he is a 77 overall with only star development. So I know he's the star of this video, but we can't re-sign him whenever Julian Love is only an 80 overall. So Julian Love's better and he can progress more, but we don't even have money to sign him, so it looks like we can't even sign anybody here. Not the biggest loss to lose those two, but not the greatest thing either. So apart from that, guys, I'd say it's time to look into the team to see the development upgrades. And from what I can see on the offense, there's nothing. And defensively, Lorenzo Carter, I can see right away, has superstar development with the ability spinner. Don't really know what that does, but everything else here looks pretty good to me, and I would say that it's time to jump into free agency. And here we are in free agency, as we obviously don't have any money at all, so we can't pick anybody up, obviously. Can't do anything with negative $1.4 million, obviously. So apart from that, guys, it's time to jump into the draft. And here we are in the draft as we're picking up our right outside linebacker. Hopefully can move him to middle linebacker. 74 overall, normal development. And that was all the draft really had to show for us. And offensively, we did absolutely nothing. Literally absolutely nothing. And defensively, well, offensively, we did nothing. And defensively, I'm just going to keep the guy we drafted on the outside and just keep him as a rotational player because we can't really do anything. And apparently the CPU picked up a defensive tackle that I definitely didn't draft. So apart from that, guys, I would say that it's time to jump into the midseason mark. And here we are at the midseason, shutting out the Detroit Lions 28-0 as we are 4-3, second in the division, below the 6-1 Washington football team. That seems weird to say, but Dexter Lawrence is here and all these other players are here. But just like I say in the final season and every rebuild, we don't need to re-sign him because it is the final season. So let's jump into the playoffs. Here we are in the playoffs, not making the playoffs, coming off a win to the New England Patriots. And in this rebuild, out of the 4 seasons, we only made the playoffs 1 time, been to the conference championship 1 time, won it, been to the Super Bowl 1 time and won it. But looking into the schedule, we had a 3-game win streak, and then we went on a 4-game loss streak, and then a 2-game win streak, and then lost and won. Okay, that sucks pretty bad, but we're going to look into the stats for the final season. That should be it for the episode. But Daniel Jones, not the worst season, 8th best offense and the 5th best defense. So we were top 10 in both, but still didn't make the playoffs. 4,000 yards, 32 touchdowns, 18 interceptions. Saquon Barkley, 8 TDs, 5.2 per carry, and 1,300 yards. And receiving-wise, Darius Slayton, almost 1,000 yards and 5 TDs. Blocking-wise, don't matter. Defensive-wise, Fred Warner with the most tackles for loss, 13 for Dexter Lawrence, sacks, 9.5 for Shaq Barrett, interceptions, 6 for Jabril Peppers. That's a lot. Safeties is 0, and defensive touchdowns is 0. So apart from that, guys, I know we didn't really do too much other than miss the playoffs and constantly miss the playoffs over and over and over again. But we did win the Super Bowl once, so this was a successful rebuild considering that we did win the Super Bowl. Wish Danny Dimes progressed a little bit better throughout the rebuild, but not too disappointed with this team. Actually very happy with this team. But anyways, guys, that is going to do it for this video. I hope you guys all enjoyed this rebuild because I thought this one was very, very fun. And if you guys are enjoying it, make sure you subscribe and like the video. Comment down below. And if you guys want me to do a rebuild of your choice, just comment down below, and I'll see you in the next one.